This is how easy it is to use, all right? Comes off, that gets screwed in there. This is called an atomizer. The atomizer goes in the top, okay? And then there's 2 milligrams of naloxone in here. We squirt 1 in one nostril and 1 in the other nostril. That's it. Wilkes-Barre is on track for the nation. This is nationwide data, 248%. We've seen a huge spike here also. If it was your son or your daughter, or your mother or your father, do you want me to save their life with this or throw it away?
It makes it hard to own a business. It makes it dangerous. We have a security system here. We have security cameras that are right behind me. And you wouldn't think that you would need a security system for a meat shop. I go out and sweep this parking lot 3 times at least a week to keep it clean. And besides litter, you know, yes, I have found needles. Yes, I've found empty methadone packs. And it doesn't bode well for the downtown.
Heroin has always been a problem in this area. I think maybe about 3-4 years ago was when we started seeing the various overdose deaths increase. And the reason for that is the fentanyl that's being put into the heroin. And people will say, oh, I don't want this in my backyard. It's not in it's already in your backyard, it's in your house. The number one thing we need to do is we need to get to our kids earlier. We need to educate these kids earlier, okay? When you start trying to educate a kid about drugs and alcohol at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, it's too late. The average age of experimentation is 11, 12 years old.
I was in addiction for 33 plus years. I'm a certified recovery specialist here at Wyoming Valley Alcohol and Drug. It's not just being in recovery, it's do you have housing, do you have a license, do you have a job? So I try to connect people with things like that in the community.
It amazes me that we can have 140 drug deaths in a year, and the second year have another 140 lining up to come. You would think that if you had 140 drug deaths that the using population would be going down. But evidently the using population is not going down, that there's 140 people who are willing to step up and take the place of the people who died the year before. It's a disease. You know, it's a disease. Nobody chooses to become addicted. And I hear from many people who will tell me how it started. And it didn't start with somebody saying, I want to go out and shoot heroin today.
There's always been drug problems where we saw drug deaths, you know, 15, 20 years ago. But now it really seems to be a different situation. There's a lot more of them. There's a lot of people in the 30s and 40s that are dying because of overdoses. It doesn't affect their friends as much as it should. Because these people come in, they know that they see their friends here dead. And that should set off an alarm, but it doesn't. Because a lot of times people will come to these services in a less than sober state. You know, if you see one of your friends die from drugs, you should realize that this could happen to me. But it doesn't click.